play a good game. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. We'll avoid what, Wednesday when it gets here, or Thursday, whatever it's going to be. Hopefully just play a good solid game.
Obviously not everyone can fit into your game one lineup for the playoffs. Are there certain position battles you're
No, not at all. We'll just put some different players in there tomorrow and see where we go.
Do you use tomorrow as kind of a tune-up for?
No.
No? Okay.
Shea Theodore's just had a really good year, career high in goals and points. What does he, I guess, still need to improve on in order to be top of the line elite defenseman in the
He's
city?
got to play well every night. He's got to be consistent every night, and that's his thing. He's had a great season. He's a great young player for us. And like I said, it's no different than anybody else. Get ready to get mentally prepared to play every night and play your best games. And he's come a long way. He's going to be a great player.
Do you think there was any pressure at the beginning of the year just with kind of just holding out and then the big contract signing, any pressure to live up to that early on?
I'm sure they all do. Anybody that gets a good contract, they want to play real well early on. So, I think there's obviously pressure, but when you get those big contracts, you've got to take another step in your game, and they've all done that. He's done that.
Talking about the guys, they said they weren't happy with the lack of intensity last night. It looked pretty intense out there today. You just talked about the practice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought last night's first period was good. It was, lots of pace and a competitive game, and after that, we sort of fell asleep. It wasn't good in the second and third. It was our worst hockey of the year. And again, I wasn't happy about that, but I sort of expected it a little bit, to be honest with you, because like I said, I loved the first period. I thought it was two competitive teams, and then after that, we just didn't have a game at all. We gave them a bunch of scoring chances for no need, a bunch of turnovers, but that's a mental part of the game, and that's a tough part of it. So you forget about that, you move on. We know that's not our team. I was, like I said, I was glad that it didn't affect any playoff position last night. I'm glad Colorado took care of things, and because we didn't play really well enough, and I wouldn't be disappointed if it were to affect something.
So we always hear this phrase, flip the switch, that you want to avoid having to flip the switch, I guess.
Well, we're not going to be the only team avoiding flipping the switch. I mean, you look around the league and scores from other teams, so I like to say, and I said it to our assistant coaches this morning, we played awful last night. Our playoffs was the day we got Markstone. For the next 3 weeks, we won 9 and 11 or something like that, 10 and 11. We played great hockey when we had to. We pretty much secured our position. We weren't going to go up, we'd go down unless some teams fell in our face, and we won every game. So that to me was when our team played their best hockey. Now, have we played good over the last 7 or 8 games? We played okay. Do I know we're going to play well come Wednesday or Thursday? I'm not worried about it.
I guess you kind of said, everybody has to flip the switch, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
A lot of teams aren't happy with their game right now, but it's all the teams that have had positions guaranteed, and they know where they were going the last number of weeks. I don't want to talk with the other team, but I look at the scores every night too, and if you're doing your work, you know that it's tough. It's tough to get ready mentally to play every game. That's what's happening right now.
A couple more for Turk.
Do you, because you just talked about that stretch where you were really good. Sometimes it might be a little bit lost here on how hard it is to make the playoffs in the NHL, because it's not easy. How?
Yeah, it's a battle. When this season's over, we're going to go home in the summertime and say, how are we going to make the NHL playoffs next year again? With really good teams, the teams that are supposed in the bottom, they're getting a lot better. So it's going to be a battle again. So to make the playoffs back-to-back years to do what we done, I think it's a great achievement. But again, we start the playoffs on Wednesday or Thursday next week, and we got to be ready to go. Because everybody, whoever you're going to play, we know an opponent, but all the teams that are playing that make the playoffs have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. And that's the way it is nowadays.
The players say that it's the most fun time of the year. Is it the most fun for you?
100%, yeah. I can't wait till tomorrow's game's over. You got to play that game, and it's going to be, try and get through the game and stay healthy and play a good, solid game and work hard, and then you get ready for the big thing on Wednesday or Thursday.
Thanks, Turk.
Balance that. Obviously, one more regular season game, but big picture, the playoffs right there. How do you focus in on that one last game and then turn it on for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's just about having good habits, right, and play the right way, and so when the game comes around, we're ready to go, and obviously, hopefully, we'll be last night.
And how are you feeling individually? Obviously, first game back last night, and then today. How do you feel?
Yeah, good. No, everything's feeling good. Like I said, it would have been nice to win last night, but body's good, so it's good.
And everyone talks about teams clicking at the right time, heading into the playoffs. It's also important to have everyone healthy. Talk about how important that is. Not only yourself, but Max Pacioretty's back and healthy. Derek had a couple days off to give him rest. How clutch is that to have all these positives heading in the right direction?
Yeah, we worked hard to be where we're at in the standing, and those last 2 games we weren't going anywhere, right? So it's a good opportunity to rest the guys that are there. It's good, they will be ready to go when we need to.
And you mentioned, the hard work. 82 games, it's a grind, but it's all for the playoffs. You guys did it. You punched your ticket. Just as a hockey player, how excited are you to just get back on the ice in the hockey playoff atmosphere?
It's the best. It's the best time of the year. It's fun for us. The game's so intense. The game's so loud in the building. Everything's exciting, right? So I don't know. Just looking forward to getting going.
Awesome. Thanks, Marc-Andre.
Just slow.
Mark, last night, after the second period, you gave a puck to a young fan and kind of brought him to tears and everything. We're talking to him tonight. If you had a message for him and kind of what that means.
What was that?
Sorry, you gave a puck to a kid in the stands last night.
In Weimar? Yeah.
No, it was right after the first intermission, I believe. We're talking to him. It brought him to tears. What does that mean to you to be able to do something like that for a young fan?
I don't know. It sounds a little crazy, just to be able to have this impact on kids, but I don't know. We have such great fans here at T-Mobile, right? Sorry, this guy just keeps walking around. It's fun that we can give back a bit, right? And for the kids, I think we want them to have a good time at the game and to have good memories from the hockey game.
Thank you. I'll probably talk to you more about this next week.
Last one, Mark.
How do you prepare, or how do you go into the mindset of a playoff series? Like, not even just a series, but the playoff series. Like, how do you get into that?
Different. I don't think you just prepare for that. I think we've been preparing for it all year, for years now, but I think it's just putting everything that we've learned as a team that makes us good and put it together in that first game there. And, we're going to have ups and downs, and we're going to stay even keeled the whole time. We just want to be focused on one game at a time, one play at a time, and that's it.
Pre-game like a pro, post-game like a champion at College Bar and Grill. Located across the street from the iconic A Mountain and Sun Devil Stadium and a quick walk from Wells Fargo Arena, College Bar and Grill is your home for the best local craft beer, delicious creative cocktails, tasty food, and Tempe's best atmosphere for Arizona State athletics. College Bar and Grill. Pre-game like a pro, post-game like a champion. Online at ilovecollege.co.
All right, welcome in, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. College Hockey Southwest Weekly, Ice Time Hockey Southwest. Familiar face from Arizona State. I got Justin Emerson with me with the Las Vegas Sun review.
Las Vegas Sun.
Las Vegas Sun. Okay, there we go. I got it right.
Oh, yeah.
The beat reporter here for the Vegas Golden Knights. And Justin, first of all, welcome in.
Thank you.
I don't see any maroon and gold, though. I know that probably wore off over the weekend, but a lot of exciting things happened for your alma mater too, right?
Oh yeah, it was awesome just to see ASU in postseason, and what are we in year 4 now, and just to have that in, and then just even last night on Thursday to have Joey Decord playing an NHL game wearing that ASU gear. It's exciting times. It's as exciting as there's ever been for ASU hockey, and I couldn't be happier, couldn't be prouder of my school. Before we get into talking Golden Knights hockey, let's have you review where you were at when ASU became the NCAA program, and what it was like for you, because you were right in the mix of it. Oh yeah, I was. So I wrote the story. I wrote a story talking to athletic director Ray Anderson, and talking about how much money would be needed to, or what would be needed, I guess I should say, to make ASU a Division I team. And he just said that there would be money. I wrote the story, and money showed up, and there it was. And then I remember getting a call that it was happening, And then the press conference, Ray was nice enough to single me out, which he definitely didn't need to do, but it was very cool. It was exciting. They had just won a national championship the year before at the ACHA level, so just forward momentum that hasn't stopped.
Well, it hasn't stopped, you're right, because there's an arena coming down the pike here in a couple of years, which I think we can say is an official deal now. And
I can't wait. I'll do what I can to be at that first game.
Give me your thoughts on Coach Powers, because you know him pretty well from quite a few years ago, but this isn't unexpected to those of us that know him, is it?
No, I don't. I mean, he was... The way that he turned a club program into one that didn't even consider itself a club program, they hated using that word club. It was always ACHA Division I. And the way that he was able to recruit players that probably should have been playing Division I hockey to go play at Arizona State, you know, nowhere near the traditional hockey markets in a community rink that no one would consider a top-of-the-line program. For him to be able to do that and then to keep it going into the NCAA, I don't think anybody's really surprised. I mean, this guy should be Coach of the Year, in my somewhat biased opinion, and he's done an amazing job. And no, I'm not surprised at all that he's been able to do it.
All right, let's take off the ASU hat. Let's jump over to the Golden Knights. Last year we saw this team. You kind of saw it, being a resident here and working here, but not following them day to day, per se. So this year you're following them day to day. What do you expect out of this team, and how are they different from last year's team?
Sure. No, I think that this team has as much potential as last year's team does. I think that you've got guys like Max Pacioretty and Paul Stastny coming in over the offseason, and just what they've been able to do to establish kind of that, you know, I hate to use the term veteran presence because they're also really good on the ice, but just the culture around this team has been good since day one, and it's just continuing to get better. And then to get a guy like Mark Stone to make that top line, that Pacioretty, Stastny, or not top line, but that Pacioretty, Stastny, Stone line has just been tremendous since they've been put together. It adds a real dynamic, that top six with Ben Carlson, Smith, and Marchessault. It's as dangerous as any top six in the league. Defense is good. Goalie is obviously really good. This is a team that can make a really deep playoff run.
You know, 1 October happened over a year ago now, approaching, a year and a half. But last year was so much emotion, right, with this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that going to hurt this team not having emotion like that, or will they be able to muster it up come Wednesday or Thursday?
I don't think so. I think obviously it was a horrible thing that had happened, but it rallied the community around the team, and I don't think that stopped just because it's a new season. This is still a team that made lifelong fans from day one last year because of the way that they handled the shooting and the way that they were able to rally around in the community. And I don't think that's ended. These are still people that remember that are excited for year two. So no, I don't think that any sort of lack of emotion or motivation will be present. No, I think they'll be ready to go.
Okay, a lot of times, unless you're the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Montreal Canadiens from years ago, returning to a Stanley Cup final year after year is very difficult. But what do people have to do? What do the fans have to do to support this team after that high? Because as a first-year team, they're thinking like every time we get on the ice, we're going to win, right?
Yeah, Vegas fans are spoiled a little bit. I mean that in a great way. I mean, this team came in and was able to establish itself as a winner right away, and that's great for a fan base, and it's fantastic. So I mean, just know that down the road there are going to be down years. There's going to be years that this team missed the playoffs. You look at Tampa Bay missed the playoffs 2 years ago. Like, it just happens sometimes. But no, I mean, it's a fantastic fan base that's here, and I don't think we need to worry about any sort of fans not supporting the team.
All right, the goaltending situation looks good now that Marc-Andre's back healthy. He played pretty strong last night. I thought he might have been one of the best players, if not the best player on the ice. So we all know that NHL playoffs go as the goaltender goes. How confident are you that this team has the goaltending to make a run?
Oh, goaltending won't be the issue. I think their goalie's going to be fine, and I mean, if they win, it'll be in part because Fleury's playing really well. If they lose, you know, he could still be playing really well and lose. He could play poorly and they could win. So goalies are important, obviously, but not everything. I don't think that if they, get eliminated or whatever, I don't think it'll be on the goalie. I'll put it that way.
All right, let's wrap it up with a little personal note. How much did Cronkite School and ASU prepare you for what you're doing today, one-on-one? I mean, there's a lot of great kids that are coming up in the media ranks. So talk about that a little bit. What's it been like?
No, it's been really good. Cronkite School is, in my mind, the best journalism school in the country, and it's been fantastic because you look at just people from my year. There are people in TV stations across the country, beat reporters at sports all across the country, and it's good. Cronkite's it's a great school. It puts you in a position to succeed, and it's fantastic.
All right, Justin, I appreciate your time. I'm going to lean on you heavily as we go into another NHL playoff run, since this is the only team I got covering right now, and I don't want to shave my beard quite this early.
There you go. Yeah, I got to start. I guess I got to start working on growing that one out, huh?
Hey, Michael here from M-Drive. My dad, a world-class scientist, actually made M-Drive for himself to stay active and continue enjoying life. And yes, M-Drive supports healthy testosterone, but it's so much more. M-Drive is the everyday supplement to fuel your drive with more energy and more strength. Listen, we'd love for you to try M-Drive too. Visit mdriveformen.com and we'll give you 20% off your first purchase. Just type in the code DRIVE at checkout. Refine your prime with M-Drive.